call to order the Board of County Commissioners regular meeting of October 31st, 2013. Happy Halloween, everybody. Thank you for coming. And join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute to the flag.
Nice man.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Maybe next year.
No, it takes 3.
I always go like this here. So it's just for in people.
Okay, first item on the agenda is the approval of the regular meeting agenda.
As far as I know, there's no changes.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda for the regular meeting.
Second.
There's a motion and proper second to approve the agenda for the regular meeting today. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Public input. During this portion of our meeting, we welcome your suggestions and want to hear your concerns. This is not a question and answer period. Speakers will be limited to 5 minutes. Any individual who would like to discuss an item in more depth may request to be placed on a future agenda. Request forms are available in the county manager's office. Is there any public input today? Seeing none, we'll move on. Minutes. Approve or disapprove the minutes for October 10th, 2013.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make the motion that we approve the minutes for the October 10th, 2013.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the minutes for October 10th, 2013. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Financial reports. Approve or disapprove expenditure report for October 28, 2013. John, since Commissioner Ramos wasn't able to attend, go ahead and go over those numbers real quickly for him.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, in your package, you have the expenditure report dated October 28, 2013. It's for $1,151,166.90. Really, the major expenditure we talked about is we've got the capital outlay for the truck that was purchased for fire management and general services, and the 2 Ford Explorers that we purchased. All of those were bought locally at the Lawley Ford. So those are about $85,000 for all 3 of those items. And then we had approximately $33,000 in construction that happened. So we've been kind of winding down. We've got the fair barn is done. We're just waiting for the final billings from the contractor on that, which I received one yesterday. And then the front of the building, they're just waiting on, they've 1 walkway left to pour, and then Mr. Moore will come in and do the asphalt out there. So that project's almost done, and then we'll put the handrails on, which will come from Steelworks downtown, a local company as well. So we're trying to use as many local contractors as we can nowadays. We do get our hands tied sometimes when we go out for the full bid process, but other than that, we're trying to do as much business locally to keep the dollar local.
Okay. Can I get a motion?
Chairman, motion to approve the expenditure report of October 28th of 2013.
And I second.
There's a motion and proper second to approve the expenditure report for October 28, 2013. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. New business. Village of Santa Clara is requesting annexation of the Fort Baird Road from US 180 to Fort Baird Medical Center. We have Mayor Bausch and Chief Sandoval here today, so whichever one of you guys want to take this on, or both?
I'm here as backup.
All right, thank you.
Mayor, you may need to build some barriers so that people don't drive through citizens' houses.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Very true. If it ain't water, it's vehicles.
Welcome, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to speak with you this morning. The village of Santa Clara is in the process of trying to define their boundaries. We've been doing it for some time, and we're trying to finalize it. And one thing that we would like to do, we're requesting of the county to see if there's any opposition of us annexing from Fort Baird Road from Highway 180 all the way up to the Fort Baird Medical Center. Some years back, when the village annexed the Baton Park, they annexed over to the fence line, and we should have, at that time, actually annexed all the way over that whole street, all over to the other easement on the other side, and that's what we're going to be doing, or we'd like to do. And we just want to, advise the commission and see if they had any opposition to that.
For me personally, I do not have any opposition.
I have not, just, when you say to the other side, just for the record, I'd like for you to state east or west side of the road.
Okay, I believe it's the west side. But east side, well, how it is. It's city guys, I don't know about this stuff. Anyway.
Which side you're standing on.
Okay, on the east side, it's the east side is where we annex. Right.
Yeah, okay.
So
I'm not opposite.
Yeah.
Same here. I think it'd be good to have you all patrolling that area also.
Yes.
Is the county sheriff's department still going to be able to patrol that? Through agreements or? Okay, good. Yeah.
Jurisdiction countywide.
Yep. So I think that's your answer.
I think it'd be
No
good.
opposition.
Especially we have those tournaments over there, having Santa Clara there helping out would be really good.
Yeah, actually, the road department just finished chip sealing that road, so.
So it's precious.
Good shape.
Real timely,
I
man.
appreciate that, thank you very much.
Real timely, man.
Really needed
Good
a
job.
take it about 6 weeks before we did that.
Okay, well, appreciate that. Village, thanks you very much, and probably what we'll be doing is going to be on the agenda in our November meeting, and we'll probably finalize it probably in December, just to, keep you informed, and then we'll go ahead and we'll start the filing process. And
Sounds good. Anything we can help you with, let us know.
Yes, sir.
Just, I would ask, when you're done with that, if you'll make sure we get the copies of it so we can get it to our planning department so they can make sure they move that boundary in our GIS system.
Take it off for system.
And so that way they'll make sure
Right,
they've got.
and that's what I'm saying, the filing process, we'll come in and register and file everything in court and get you a copy of all the stuff.
I appreciate it, yeah, that way they get it straight in there and so they can get straight in the 911, databases over there at Central Dispatch and we can make sure that all gets corrected.
And that's really the essence of the whole process of trying to find our boundaries, is because of the 911 and police response and different things, and it's just been very confusing. We're trying to correct all of that. So, appreciate your support, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor, before you leave, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, please.
Before you leave, I just want to let you know we have contacted Corps of Engineers about the flooding problems there in Santa Clara. They're supposed to get back to us on Monday. We contacted the...
I'm sorry.
No problem. We contacted the Corps of Engineers about the flooding problems there in Santa Clara.
Oh,
and
yes.
we should be hearing from them on Monday on when they can meet with us. And we'd be glad to have that meeting here so we can try and take care of the situation down there for future floods.
Okay, that'd be good. Would you like us to be there, or?
Oh, yes, most definitely. And I'm sorry, I brought this up because I figured you're going to be leaving since you're already done with your part of the agenda, but excuse that.
Not a problem.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for following up on that, too, because we appreciate that very much. We have, I think it's like 5 families that were severely affected by the flooding, and we have a lot of
It was a scary
repairs and
situation.
damage that we're trying to cope with, so...
And they are
help that we
taking,
can get would be good.
yes, sir, they are taking donations for these families over at Ambank, I believe. So if anybody wants to reach out to these people, there's one family that lost almost all they had, in a trailer down there. So anybody that can help that Ambriz family, I believe there was three or four other families there. Apodaca family lost some stuff there and need some help also.
Yes, I think we've had 2 buildings that were total loss, and a couple others, 1 or 2 others that were severely damaged, so there's quite a lot of, damage over there.
Well, I'd like to also commend your police department. I got there probably when it was starting to recede, and they had everything blocked off. They did a really good job. I know Sheriff's Department was there also. So the reaction was really, really good, and no one got hurt. That's amazing.
They always do an excellent job for us, and
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate the Sheriff's Office very much. And it was very sudden, the flash flood, and, to get everybody mobilized that quickly, and whatever, Barrett PD and, Barrett Fire, and everyone helped us, so it was very nice, and I appreciate that very much. We were able to get through it with all the help from the sheriff's office and everyone, so,
Well, no one got hurt, that's the important thing.
yeah.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Approve or disapprove the grant of authority to the Grant County Manager to transfer Grant County's employee insurance broker and carrier from the state of New Mexico to Rydeski and Company under the terms described at the October 10th, 2013 regular meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make the motion that we approve the grant of authority to Grant County Manager to transfer Grant County's employee insurance broker and carrier. Yep, there sure is. You think we'd be getting some money for this or something?
This is one of those grants we give away.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve authority to the Grant County Manager to transfer Grant County employee insurance broker and carrier from the state of New Mexico to Rydeski and Company. Is there any discussion on that motion? Yes, Mr. Sheriff.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I was able to speak to the staff that attended the meeting, and there's really not major concerns with that happening. There was one question that was brought to me. I was not able to attend the meeting, so it was asked of me, and I said I'd ask, and I asked them why they didn't ask while they were here at the meeting. But the question is why is Rydeski only offering Presbyterian as one, not offering the other insurances?
Yeah, and he covered that in the talk that I was in. I listened to one of them, and the reason why the state has the 3 or 4 different is because they're thousands of employees. When you market 150 employees, no insurance company is going to take only a few. They want them all. And so that's what it is. We have to go with one. So what he did is with Presbyterian, he was able to give the option through the PPO and the HMO so that they still had an option. Otherwise, it would have just been straight Presbyterian PPO. But that's why, as an insurance company is not going to provide insurance for 10 people. They want all 150 to make it worth their while, because they make their money off of the rate. And so with 150, they're assuming 100 of those people might not get sick, and that's free money to them that they never have to pay out on. So they pay out on the 50. So
And mainly just give us the best price possible.
yeah, and that's the way to do it. And so that's why it's not multiple for that reason. It's just because they won't do it. Nobody's going to insure only a couple of us.
And John, you might have already covered this, but can you cover that or explain that the retirement health is still going to be available for people that retire?
I guess I'll turn on my... What we're doing is, it has nothing to do with retiree health care. Retiree health care is through the state of New Mexico, and through statute, we cannot get out of retiree health care. Once you get into retiree health care, you're in there forever. Which is good. You can't get out whether you use it or not. And so that has nothing to do with what we're doing. There are issues with retiree health care, as we've seen in the news, that they've mismanaged funds, so they're not as solvent as they thought they would be. I've talked to some people that are retiring right now that it used to be, the selling point for retiree health care was when you retired, it guaranteed you that you would have insurance. Now, retiree health care is not guaranteed insurance. They're excluding you if you've had prior medical problems. One individual I know that I spoke to personally has had cancer in the past, and so they've received a letter that they're not eligible to be covered under retiree health care.
So are they pushing them towards Medicaid? Is that what the issue
I
is?
guess they're trying to push them into that Centennial Care and to the Affordable Health Care Act. But that was the selling point as to why they got us all into retiree health care, is because it guaranteed your employees. So this individual paid into this for 25 years, and now they can't get any benefit from it. And they don't get their money back. They're just excluded. And so retiree health care is really being shaken up, and there's no guarantee it's going to be there for anybody now.
Well, maybe that's a bill that we need to ask our representatives.
No, and that's what I'm going to talk with the senator and relay what this person gave to me and to the representatives, because if that's what they're going to do, then give us the option to get out. And if our employees don't want retiree health care and want to get out and quit paying, because it costs the county $70,000 and the employees $70,000 a year to be part of retiree health care.
Well, either that or they can pass a bill stating that they can't
They
get
can't
rid of it.
exclude.
Exclude.
Yeah, but But that's what's happening. If they're going to allow them to do that, they need to change, because this individual that I've talked to, they paid in for 25 years, and now they're being told they can't get it, so they've lost that money.
Mr. Treasurer.
Just at the meeting that I attended, Mr. Radesky did say that the bid that they got from the other carrier was not competitive.
That's true.
They just could not afford it.
That's true.
I'm like a retiree health care. Very pleased with it. Hadn't had any problems. Thank God Jane and I are very healthy, though.
Okay, there's a motion to approve.
Second. I've already did second.
I already did that. But, any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, next item under new business is, Mr. Lawyer's here to address the commission on the fair. Come on up, Mr. Lawyer.
Are we gonna put him on a clock?
No, he,
He's getting old. It might take him a while to get there.
ooh. Salute.
No rough here, Mr. Lawyer.
What?
It has to do with electronics. Mr. Lawyer and I don't understand those things.
That's right. I still have my junior high kids come over and set up my computers and stuff.
Me too, Dick. Same thing.
Welcome, Mr. Lawyer.
Thank you very much. The Gila Cliff Grant County Fair Board are very grateful for the county commissioners, Mr. Caston, Mr. Ramos, and Mr. Hall, and the county manager, Mr. Sari, for replacing the old building after the Dust Devil tore it up. And the county made sure the funds were available to prepare the new barn with special help from Anthony Gutierrez, Sheriff Villanueva, and Earl Moore and his road department. And this year's fair was dedicated to Ron Lamb, the extension officer that worked for the county and the extension office for years. And the new barn is very nice, and for many weekends, the Silver FFA, Cliff FFA, and 4-H students and their parents work Saturdays and Sundays to finish the inside. He didn't know how many welders we had in the county till he got that done. Parents and welders, along with the kids, made everything happen. The fair opened on Wednesday and finished with a sale on Saturday. Prizes were handed out, and the Pee Wee show was Sunday morning, thanks to many of our fair board members and the kids. We had a gate of about 2,700 people came to the fair, and thanks to Rotary and Farm Bureau for running the gate for us. We also had 3 bus loads of second graders come to watch the judging of the kids and their animals. They learned how much it takes to feed, take care of, and show those animals in the show ring. They also spent time in the exhibit building where people showed their fashions, canning, gardening, cooking, and many other art projects. The FFA Club from Silver High worked the gates at the rodeos. The Ranch Rodeo, attended by 250 people on Thursday night, sponsored by Lawley Ford, HBY, and Nichols Welding. The Rough Stock Rodeo was for 2 nights, and there were 950 attending. It was sponsored by Snedeker Enterprises. The Junior Rodeo, put on by Edwin Bradbury, was well attended. And Friday morning, the Farm Bureau put on a free pancake breakfast. That's delicious, folks. They run it from about 9 to noon. And we had the Yarborough Band again for Friday and Saturday nights, and 1,127 kids and the adults enjoyed the dancing. The livestock sale on Saturday was dedicated to Freeport McMahon, and the animals sold for an amount equal to last year's sale with a slight increase. And Gila Grant County Fair, just like to thank the commissioners and everybody for helping us out. Thank you, Fair.
Was 2,700 people up or down?
You had to ask that? I don't know. To tell you the truth, I don't know, but we didn't know whether, without the carnival out there, a lot of people don't go.
So we probably it's probably less than what we would have had if we had a carnival.
You know, that was the only comment that we had from public input, was that they really wish you'd reinstate the carnival, and I know you have to move some dates around to do that, so I hope you take that back to the Fair Board and look at it anyway.
Well, they're discussing that now, so hopefully by our January meeting, when we start next year's projects, we'll either change the dates, or I noticed we had a carnival the week before we went to the fair and the week after the fair. I don't know why they can't just change. But anyway, we're working on that too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
No, just thank you very much for all you all did for us, and when you thank the commission, you're thanking all the people that really worked hard. I know Sheriff's Department helped out, the Road Department worked really hard to help out with the cement and try and get things done as soon as possible, and I think everyone here has thanked them, and of course, it starts with us, but they're the ones that do the work. You know, we just got
Sorry,
the
and I
money.
discussed, maybe right at the very beginning when we started this, if they just get the material, I might be able to find enough ranchers to put up a barn in a week and a half. But we can't do it that way, so, well, we thank you very much anyway.
Thank you for your hard work, Dick, for many years of hard work.
Next item on the agenda, item F, approve or disapprove the disposal of a 1970 Cat 950 loader from equipment inventory for the road department.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move that we approve the disposal of the 1970 Cat 950 loader, serial number 81J2908, inventory number 1816, from the equipment inventory for the road department.
Nice, second.
The motion is second to approve the disposal of a 1970 Cat 950 loader. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Approve or disapprove the EMS Funds Act Local Systems Improvement Project application for fiscal year 2015. Item G. John, you want to go over that real quick?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. This is the application put in by Tyrone Volunteer Fire Department. What they're asking for is for $4,500 for training and training equipment for the EMT service out there. What that will be is, it'll be a total of $5,500 for the total project. They have a match of $1,000 that comes out of their EMS fund. And then $4,500 is what they're asking from the fire fund, or from the EMS Fund Act money. These are separate than the normal fire funds that come into those departments. They're slated especially for EMS services, and they don't get a lot, so these grants really help them out when they can get them. So it costs nothing out of the general fund. It'll all be out of there.
Thank you. Yeah. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the EMS Funds Act Local Systems Improvement Project application for the fiscal year of 2015.
Nice, second.
So motion and proper second to approve the EMS Funds Act Local System Improvement Project application. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Contracts and agreements. Approve or disapprove agreement number A1324, New Mexico DOT, the Transit and Rail Division Department, and Grant County Subgrantee. John?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. What this is the agreement that we use to run the Corey Caminos bus system. So it's broken out into four pieces, actually. The administrative piece is an 80-20 match, where the total grant is for $275,412.80, the federal portion being $220,330.24, and the local match of $55,082.56. The second section is the 5311, which is an operating budget, which has a 50-50 match, which the total is $722,131.20, which will be split between federal and local of $361,065.60 each. The next is the 5316 operating funds, which are also a 50-50 match. Total is $117,300, which will be split at $58,650 for the federal and the local each. And the last piece is a capital outlay. It's an 80-20 match, which they're asking for $101,554.83. which the federal share will be $81,243.86, and the local match will be $20,310.97, for a total grant of $1,216,398.83. The federal portion being $721,289.70, and the local being $495,109.13. As we spoke about on Tuesday, is that $495 has come through the contributions made by the entities, Luna County, Deming, Hidalgo County, Lordsburg, Grant County, and Silver City, that they contribute into the funds, and then it comes from the advertising and the fares that are paid to ride the bus service, is how that is made up.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make the motion that we approve Agreement A-13-24.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve A1324. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Approve or disapprove agreement number A1325 with the New Mexico DOT Traffic Safety Division for the following sheriff's projects: Operation DWI, Operation Buckle Down, and 100 Days and Nights of Summer. The sheriff went over this on Tuesday. Do you have anything to add or anything? Okay. I was shocked at how little money it was in some of those areas. That's what kind of shocked me. So,
Sheriff, I'd like to make a motion to approve agreement A1325 with the New Mexico DOT Traffic Safety Division.
I second.
there's a motion and a second to approve agreement A1325. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Resolutions. Approve or disapprove resolution number R1372, support of the New Mexico Association of Counties legislative priorities for 2014 session. And what I'd asked everybody to do was to present their own affiliates resolutions today. So let's see who's first. Assessors are first, of course. And you have two of them, Madam Assessor.
Chairman, I went ahead and gave you information in your packet, and I'd like you to look at that and follow me through so I don't lose any of you guys on it, because it's kind of complicated a little bit. In 2001, Speaker of the House Ben Lujan passed a bill to ensure that the people that lived in their homes for 10 to 20 years didn't lose their homes because of the increase in property valuation. The bill states that the assessor's office can only increase property by 3% unless the property sells and it transfers to a different individual. Then we can increase the property to market value. Because of this bill, the assessor's values in our office are very inequitable. So let me kind of go through and explain it. If you look at that subject property that I have in there, that subject property, the purchase date was 1988, and this is all factual information. This is values that I have pulled from our records. Okay, the purchase date is 1988. The year built is 1917. Square footage is 10,800 square feet. It's a frame stucco home, single-family residence. The value of this property as of yesterday is $43,924. The taxable value is $14,641. That's $40 a square foot for this home that is on the tax roll. This home has been increased to 3%. It is not at market value. So the next one, in order to bring this to market value, we would have to have three comparable properties. These three comparable properties that I've pulled from our office, the first one is built in 1950, and it has 1,152 square feet. It's a frame stucco home, single-family dwelling. The purchase price is approximately $75,000. That's $65 a square foot. The next comp is built in 1955. It has 1,211 square feet. It also is a frame stucco, single-family residence. And that purchase price was $97,000, approximately $97,000, and that's $80 a square foot. The last one, being built in 1930, square footage of 1,044. It's a frame stucco, single-family residence purchase price is $105,000, approximately $105,000. That's $100 a square foot. Again, the subject property is a lot less. It's at $40 a square foot. So you can see the inequity here. Okay, so each one of these homes are at market value right now. The other one is not. So if I applied the $80, I take that middle one, and I apply the $80 of that square footage to the subject property, that would bring the market value to $86,000. The taxable value of $28,000. That is an increase there. But there are limitations to this bill. The valuation limitations for long-term residents would be if you've lived in your home for more than 10 years, you would get 10% deduction on that taxable end. So using the same property, the subject property would be valued at $23,000, approximately $23,000. Another deduction is 20% deduction. If you are 65 and older and you've lived in the home for 20 years or more, you would get the 20% deduction off the taxable value. That would bring the taxable value to $20,000 for this subject property. That is an increase, and the subject property is at 50% of the market, but we don't have that many that are that low. Most of them are probably already at 70% of the market. So, it just makes everything a lot more equitable. Everybody is paying their fair share of taxes if this does pass.
Okay.
So I'm open for any questions on that.
Questions on the first one?
No.
Nope. Go ahead and proceed to the next one.
Okay. The next one, in order for us to determine a market, just like I showed you with these three comparables, we do not have the sales information on non-residential property or commercial property because we are a partial disclosure state. We only receive it on the residential side. So we're asking to be able to accept affidavits or be able to receive affidavits on non-residential property as well, so that we can be, so we can get with the market on that end too. If the resolution is passed, we'll have the affidavits for non-residential property. This would result in a more current and correct assessment levels among non-residential properties and would likely increase revenue flowing to various tax recipients. So we really need that because it's very hard for me to establish a market on the non-residential properties. And non-residential is the vacant land and commercial buildings.
Okay. I know the affiliates at NMAC were both pretty assistant on this, and the board also voted them as a high priority. So I assume you think they're good. Okay. Question? Okay.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Second one.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners. Basically, our bill is to ask that an individual that come in to place a lien in our office on a particular property owner, that the property owner be given notice that that lien has been placed in our office. Right now, as it stands, any contractor can come in that didn't get paid for work done at somebody's building a home or whatever it may be. They can come in, file a lien, and then hopefully they get their money back at time of sale or whenever the property owner needs to make any changes or with title insurance, those types of things. And what that causes is that last minute, here we are with the bill of $20,000 that needs to be paid, and they can't get any business done until that lien is settled. So
that has probably been on there for a while. And they're trying to close their loan.
And they never knew that this lien existed. So what this bill will do is give the homeowner or property owner some heads up that there's been a lien filed in our office.
Another reason that's important, I know when I was a judge, it was a real problem because around the state, these individuals were filing liens against judges' property when they didn't like the decision. No notice or anything. So when they tried to borrow money or tried to sell, boom, there it was. This way you get heads up that's going to happen.
Right, and it does need to happen because there are some, our office doesn't report to any credit bureaus or anything like that. All we do is just record in our office what's brought into us. But there are some liens that the credit bureau does pick up,
and all of a sudden you go pull your credit report, and these liens are here, and you never know why they were there. But this bill will give them a heads up to say, hey, there's a lien going to be filed in your in the clerk's office. You can remedy it before I place the lien, or, at the time of, this is the day I'll place the lien. I think we're asking for a time frame. There's going to be a notice once that, if that 30 days isn't met, that's when the lien will be placed. It gives the individual some time to pay that lien before it gets placed in our office.
Good deal.
Okay, well done.
That sounds good too. And I guess I'll go ahead and handle the commissioner's affiliate, unless one of you guys want to. Okay, the commissioner's affiliate resolution that we're going to be talking about is the suspension of Medicaid in lieu of termination during incarceration in county detention centers. Currently, when a person is incarcerated, their Medicaid capability goes away, and what that does is it takes 30 to 60 days to get back on Medicaid when you are released from incarceration, which deters their ability to go get help for substance abuse or maybe mental disorders or whatever. So what this is trying to keep from having the Medicaid suspended while they're incarcerated in a county detention center, or at least having it to where it can be reinstated much quicker.
That's really important, because, that's a problem, and it's a burden on the taxpayer, because what happens in these individuals, let's say they have a psychological problem, they need their meds to stay balanced, but then what happens is that if it takes so long, then they're out on the streets, the sheriff and his men and women are having to deal with it, and it costs us more money. The burglaries, I know one case where there was, in fact, a homicide, and so this is something that's important to stay on top of it so they can get back into the system, back on their meds.
Okay. Anything else? Yes, sir. All right. The detention administrator is not here today, so John, I assume you're going to take that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Basically what this is currently under state statute, it gives the authority for counties to implement a 1/16 increments of gross receipts tax for correction facilities to offset the cost of operations of a correctional facility. As the costs have grown and the number of people incarcerated continues to grow, almost all the counties seem to be going out and building new facilities to house the individuals, and we've taken on more of the state inmates that are probation and parole violators, which we do not get paid for. The detention affiliate has gotten together and asked that can be increased from 2 1/16 increments to 4 1/16 increments. So a 0.5% instead of a quarter, or no, sorry, 1/4% instead of an 1/8 is the total amount of the tax. And that would go to offset some of the costs of incarcerating these individuals, taking care of feeding them. As this commission knows, we just entered into a health care agreement. We're responsible to provide health care for these individuals, so we get people that come in that may be meth addicts that have gotten meth mouth where their teeth are destroyed and everything, and we have to, the taxpayers, because that's the money we use, the taxpayers have to pay to have these people treated at a dentist, possibly replace their teeth. We're doing surgeries on individuals, we're providing meds, so the costs are very high. Grant County alone, our contract is for greater than $170,000 a year just to provide health care to these inmates, and that doesn't include some we still have to transport that need treatment outside of our facility. So that's what they're trying to do, is just trying to see if they can do that and get it increased to where they can get more gross receipts tax coming in to help offset. For Grant County, we currently move about $1.4 to $1.8 million a year, depending on the number of individuals we have incarcerated, from the general fund down to cover the costs above and beyond the revenues of the detention center. And their budget is about a $2.5 to a $2.7 million budget a year. So that's what this tax is trying to do, is trying to help offset some of those costs.
Just for the record, what would 2 more 16ths generate?
We typically get anywhere from about $550,000 to $650,000 a year off of an eighth.
So it wouldn't cover the 1/8 that we're taking out of a general fund already anyway?
No, it would not.
Cover a portion of
no,
that? Okay.
It would, at the most, I think, the highest we've ever received off of a eighth of gross receipts tax is about $670,000, is all that would do.
Thank you, John. Next is the Treasurer's Affiliate. Steve?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, we have 2 resolutions. However, next week, we have a group of the treasurers that are going to be meeting with Property Tax Division, trying to resolve the first resolution. And basically, what it is we're requesting that Property Tax Division allow the county treasurers to take payments on the installment agreements that they have.
That's been an issue for some time.
Yeah. And the biggest thing is that, neither the treasurers nor the taxpayers have any clue as to what the actual balance is at any time that they have on these installment agreements. So they're trying to resolve that through a ruling that the Property Tax Division is empowered to do. So this may make it to the legislative session, or it may not. But we do request your support, mainly because what it'll do, it'll put it back in our system where at any time we know exactly what the taxpayer owes. The taxpayer knows where they stand and, where they're at, and it's all there. We don't have to wait 3 years to get our money from the state, and we will be distributing as we receive it on a monthly basis. We'll distribute the receipts. So that's the first resolution. The second resolution, it's mostly for definition purposes, and it's very strongly being challenged, or no recommendation from Property Tax Division for obvious reasons. It would kind of eliminate some of the revenue that they are accustomed to. And what it boils down to is, if a property is 2 or more years delinquent by state statute, we automatically transfer that over to Property Tax Division for collection. It's kind of how would you say this? I'm trying to say it tactfully, but it's kind of smoke and mirrors, because in reality, we transferred that property tax list of two or more years delinquent to Property Tax Division. We send them the list. Okay? Now, they are supposed to work the list, make the notifications to the taxpayers that they're going to be auctioned off or what have you. In reality, they come into the county but they mail those letters from the state. It's kind of, if you want to say, the best motivator that we have in the state of New Mexico, because we get people coming out of the woodwork. Well, we didn't know we were delinquent, what have you, whatever they do. But it actually, we do collect the majority. And the reason that I say it's kind of smoke and mirrors is because as soon as we send that list, we add $125 cost to state fee. And that's the first that's collected. The first money that is collected is applied to the cost of state. By the time that they get those notices, they're calling our offices. The number that is listed on there for the state worker, 99 0.9% of those calls are transferred to the treasurer's office, and we give the taxpayer the information. They pay the taxes, we collect it, and we distribute it. Property Tax Division is claiming to have returned $11 million last fiscal year. Well, they didn't return it. They never had it to begin with. We collected it in our offices and distributed to the state as well as the entities. So the question is this: once the property goes on to the list by state tax statute, 2 years delinquent or more. Well, what Property Tax Division is doing is once they're on the list, they don't let go of the penalties and interest that is collected. It automatically goes to Property Tax Division. So when we collect it, we have to distribute it 100% to them. We have people that, get behind it, but when they finally catch up and they're no longer 2 years or more, but they're still 1 or 2 years delinquent, Property Tax Division is still being sent that penalty and interest. So what we're saying is define the delinquent tax list. Give us a clear definition. If the state statute says 2 years or more than 2 years delinquent. So it has to be 3 years delinquent. So what we're saying is once the taxpayer catches back up where they're 2 or less years delinquent, that penalty and interest reverts back to the counties. So that's where they're, we feel that we're being justified in requesting that, because had they not been on the tax delinquent list, we'd get that money anyway. So that's kind of, and Property Tax Division is not supporting that because it needs protection.
I totally understand why they're not supporting it, and I totally understand why we are. So, okay. Thank you very much, Steve. Any questions for Steve?
No, sir.
All right. Well, just to real quickly go over what we're doing here. We're passing, or not passing, a resolution, R-1372, that encompasses all of the resolutions from the various affiliates from the New Mexico Association of Counties. These were all voted on by the Board of Directors of the Association of Counties. The Association of Counties is the association of all 33 counties throughout the state. Each county has a representative making up the board. I'm the representative from Grant County, and we voted these as our top priorities for counties. And there's counties that come up with important issues, but they don't really work for all the counties. That's why some of these that you think about may not be here or are. These were encompassing needs for all counties throughout the state. So this is a resolution supporting all of those resolutions passed by the affiliates. So at this time, I'd take a motion.
Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve resolution R-1372 in support of the New Mexico Association of Counties legislative priorities for the year 2014 session.
And I second.
There's a motion and a second to approve resolution R-1372. Is there any discussion on the motion?
I have just a comment. It may seem to the public that in fact these things are just going to a board and talked about. If I learned anything, it's whenever I went to that association meeting this last winter, and just how much goes into these. These areas were discussed by the hour within their particular affiliates. When I say affiliates, some out there may not understand. That's the assessor, that's the clerk, that's the sheriff's office detention, commissioners and such. That's all of them. And in ours, I know ours was the commissioners. And I learned so much listening to the discussion from the different counties about why they were for or against these. Then after that, then it goes to the board, and the board then kicks it around for another several hours or a day. And so a lot of thought goes into these, and I do appreciate this process. It works. It's a good deal. So thank you.
You bet. Any further discussion? No, sir. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is R-1373, revisions to the Grant County nepotism policy. Abby, did you want to go over that just a little bit, or?
Sure. I'll just hit the high points because we discussed it. I discussed it quite a while.
Yes, you did.
We're proposing to revise the nepotism policy, and the key changes are that we're separating out familial relationships from close personal relationships. Before, we grouped all the relationships together and just called them close personal relationships, but after having the policy for a few years. Sorry, I did have to explain it to the chairman. It's defined in, so we separated them out. The close personal relationship is the romantic relationship versus, a blood or a marriage relationship. But a marriage or could also be a close personal relationship. So we separated.
We hope.
We separated those because we felt that with the close personal relationship, there's more liability involved, such as sexual harassment, those kinds of things that sometimes happen after the relationship ends or even during the relationship. So with the familial relationship, we limited it to you can work together, but you can't directly supervise each other. So we're keeping that piece, but loosening up on the working on the same shift part, and that was mainly in the safety departments, the detention center, and the sheriff's office. It was really creating obstacles. We were having difficulty scheduling people with the family and close personal relationships. So this will loosen it up and give us more flexibility, and for us and the employees. We also limited the list. If you look on page 2, Commissioner Ramos, down at the bottom, the familial relationships, we've taken out quite a few, and not because we don't think that those are important relationships, but because it just wasn't flexible enough. We have so many people in Grant County that are related. We were having difficulty taking applicants. We were having difficulty with people that wanted to apply in different departments. It was just it was too inflexible to be workable.
And just for a point, the sheriff's department and the detention center are both agreed with that issue. So.
Yeah, and
Not to speak for you, Sheriff. You can speak if you want,
and I didn't mention this before, but we do send this out, I think it was probably a week to a week and a half before this week, so that all the department heads could take a look at it. We also send it to our union president, and so they can take a look at it too, and give us any feedback that they want to provide before this meeting. Then on the close personal relationships, that piece hasn't changed much, other than it's narrowed down to the romantic relationship now. And for that one, we're still disallowing the directly supervising or in the chain of command, and also you can't work on the same shift. And I think that's sort of self-explanatory why you would want to do that. It just creates, it decreases morale, it creates bias, conflicts, that kind of thing. So that one is staying the same as the previous nepotism policy we had passed. But we do further clarify when we do have that situation where we need to, or where we need to deal with or accommodate a relationship. We're going to do our best to place them on a different shift, possibly demote the supervisor, if that's what we have to do. Hopefully we wouldn't. If there's no option, sometimes it seems like we should be able to stick them somewhere, but sometimes our hands are tied as far as shift scheduling in the detention center or the sheriff's office, where you just can't place them somewhere because there's already that position on another shift. So you can't move them there without displacing another employee. So we wanted to clarify that we're going to make the determination on a case-by-case basis based on how burdensome it is on the department, and the department head will make that determination, and that we're not going to require anyone to be displaced. We're not going to tell one employee you have to move to a graveyard because so-and-so is having a relationship with someone on this other shift. So we just wanted to clarify that. And those are the major changes. If you have any questions, please let me know. We're hoping this one will be a little more flexible with the family relationships. And just clarify that a little more for the employees.
And one thing we've had in the past is we've actually lost good employees from the county because they've tried to move up in different departments, and they can't because the nepotism policy restricted it, where we don't think it would have caused a safety hazard, but it would have been a violation of our policy. And so we've actually lost those employees to outside agencies, where we would have liked to have kept them here because they are really good employees for us. And so this will help stop some of that issue from happening, that we won't train these people and send them off to someone else to reap the benefits of our training and lose a good employee and start over again.
Any questions? All right, let's get a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make the motion that we approve Resolution R-13-73.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve R-1373 revisions to the Grant County nepotism policy. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll take a motion to recess the Grant County Board of Commissioners.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Call to order the Grant County Indigent and Health Plan Claims Board. First item on the agenda is approve or disapprove the September 2013 health plan claims, what we used to call the Indigent Fund. John, you want to go over those real quick?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Currently, in your package, you have the September 30th, 2013 claims. There's a total of 1,421 claims totaling $645,537.69. Of those claims, 1,404 claims totaling $589,070.29 are the sole community provider piece, and 17 claims totaling $56,467.40 are the indigent claims. As we spoke about, and as well as Mr. Cunningham spoke on Tuesday, we still don't know what's going to happen after January 1st with the sole community provider. The state has talked about wanting to take the first eighth of our gross receipts tax to distribute back down. Now they're talking about the 16th. It would have to go through legislation to get that to happen. The problem that we discussed is we don't know that we'll get it back. There's no guarantee you'll get any of that money back. And so for communities like Bernalillo County, the numbers we're seeing, they have a very large amount of gross receipts tax, and they may not get any of it back into their hospitals, where they would benefit if they just kept it themselves and the program went away and they distributed that to the hospital themselves. In Grant County, what they're telling us is that we would benefit because an eighth is about $670,000 at the highest, and we would get back more than 3 times that. But they never put their numbers in writing, because in their presentations they also say they have no authority over the 4 managed healthcare organizations, and they'll distribute the money based on contracts they have. So they're all it's just assumptions at this point in time. And so that's why none of the counties are really comfortable with it, that we would rather keep our tax and distribute it to our own hospitals if the program went away.
So what are we sending?
Well, this is based on, the sole community provider piece is based on monies that are there already. The hospital's getting this through December. We've already been approved this. After this point, we don't know if we'll send any payments after January. We'll send one more payment this year to the state because the hospital will receive back that money. That'll probably be right around the end of December or the first part of January. After that payment, we don't know that we'll ever send another payment. That's when they'll make the push to try and take the 8th or the 16th gross receipts tax at legislative session. So this money has already been accounted for and is coming back to the hospital that we're sending these claims up to them. The lower piece, the out-of-county claims, is the indigent. These are being paid directly to, if we see somebody at the hospital here and they're flown to El Paso, that money's going directly to that hospital and we pay that. This isn't part of the sole community provider piece that's at risk after January 1st.
So just so you know, the Association of Counties is opposing the state taking that 8th or 16th, because we also use that for detention center, health care, and a lot of other things.
Well, I think that should have been one of our priorities.
It wasn't one of the deals in June, so it just came in before us last month.
Yeah, this has surfaced a lot, and so all of us will fight, and that's what Grant County will be fighting for. We'll be very diligent on it.
Priority by choice, though.
Yes. This one was kind of forced upon us to be a priority.
If the governor wants a new tax, she'll have to impose it herself. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve September 13th health plan claims to Indigent Fund.
And I second.
Motion and second to approve the health plan claims. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Can I get a motion to adjourn the Grant County Indigent Health Plan Claims Board?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Call back to order the Grant County Board of Commissioners, and we'll stand for county reports. Sheriff, do you have anything to add? Okay, Mr. Treasurer.
I'd just like to commend my staff for the job that they did, validating and working endlessly, tirelessly, and just really getting the tax bills corrected and done appropriately. And so they really worked. There was a lot of pressure that was going on dealing with Tyler and trying to talk with them, and you know, our input helped. The assessor's office's input really helped. They finally got the developers from both the assessors and the treasurers together, and we finally resolved the issues that, you know, we had identified, but they resisted. So anyway, we do have those 27,000 bills going out today, and we also have Ted Martinez, the people that have solid waste will be receiving their solid waste bills today as well. They're being mailed out today, so I just wanted to recognize them. And
Thanks, Steve. Madam Assessor? Nothing. Mr. Clerk? Thank you, Commissioner.
Just like to thank all the staff for everything they've done this year. Every department has worked very hard. Wanted to just give the commissioners an update. We can't go into detail on anything. We've had the auditors in. They've done their field work in September, and they're now back writing up. We should have no issues getting our audit in by the November 15th deadline, as far as I know, from them as they left. Everybody worked really hard that worked with them and gave them everything they needed when they needed it, and so I think we should have a very good audit. I don't know of anything that's standing out, so we've given them everything, and there should be no issues. Like I say, getting it in on time this year, because they were here in September for a week and completed all their field work.
Thanks, Joe. Commissioner?
Well, just wanted to ask, whatever happened to the Employee of the Month project that used to happen here? When I was county clerk, we used to nominate someone from our office, and
Yeah, when I got here 8 years ago, there wasn't one. We've kind of started something back up in the detention center. They've started doing a recognition program. I actually have a meeting with all of my directors tomorrow. That might be one thing we've talked about, all pitching in. I can't use county funds to do any of that. My understanding is there used to be a social committee, I think is what did that, and so that...
they used to raise money, like have a bake sale or something.
Yeah, and so that was prior to me coming here. I guess it had already disbanded before I got here, because you had left as clerk before I came in as manager, and so it was already disbanded, and so we haven't had any.
It was a good program because morale was up, and you also get these 12 employees of the month and have an employee of the year at the end, have a banquet for them. It was really a nice thing. I'd like to see us implement that again for next year.
Yeah, no.
So, we'll stop it. Stop for your agenda.
I also wanted to report, we had the Southwest RTD meeting last week, and there were some members from the community that came in and asked to see if we can go ahead and start doing a better job putting schedules together at the sites, and they mostly were requesting that we had a better internet site, and I believe John's taking care of that, but I just want to report that to you all.
You talking about like placards?
Yes.
Bus stop?
Well, even if they just have a bench, they just wanted to see if we can put some kind of schedule on each bench, because a lot of the people that use this, unfortunately, don't even have a computer to look up what kind of schedule is on. Okay, so they just walk up there and see what the schedule is and wait for their pickup.
And we have schedules available out front in our building, and I know we don't really have a bus stop, but we're looking at taking some of these schedules, laminating them, and we have those bus stops throughout the community, those shelters that are designated, that we can put them up.
You get some plexiglass and screw them on there so people won't mess with them.
They make signs like that in every city you've ever been to. You could walk up to a bus stop, and if you spent a good hour, you'd figure out where the bus was going.
Ever since we've taken it over, it's been running a lot smoother. It really has. So I commend Randy and Kim and the people that are working Corre Caminos for us. It's been working a lot better. Whenever we lost control, we literally lost control of a lot of things. So we just need to make this yes, sir. We just got to keep building it back up and working hard at it.
And we'll work on doing that. I mean, the chairman will experience that with the rail runner, finding out when it doesn't run is easier to tell than when it runs.
Yeah, and we had another
9 cents, that's all it is.
That's right. Another individual came in, thanking Corre Caminos for their services. She had a kid, was going to Western and had to get around with no vehicle, and it was just an awesome tool for her. So I'm sure others are like that in the community, but that's all I've got.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner.
Now you understand why I deferred till today when I get done, okay?
I saw your list.
2 pages.
I told him there's a 1 notebook rule in the commission chambers, and he's violated it.
Well, me being a rookie, I don't understand the rules, so I can break the rules, all right? Because rookies can do that. But anyway, it's been a busy couple of months for me, and one of the areas I've worked really hard on, I'm going to just meetings themselves, with individuals, talking on the phone, and then group is the COCC, which is a Southwest New Mexico Behavioral Health Continuum of Care Coalition, and this is a regional program. And what makes it so difficult is we're talking about a continuum of care going from prevention to 2 different types of detoxes. One is more of a medical detox, next is a outpatient type of detox, and then on to long-term. It's been really difficult because then we had one health organization that we've had in the county. There's some problems with them in the state now, so now we've got El Frontera who's come forward, and we're working with them now. So it's been a tremendous amount of work. Already developed some, our detention center through Mike and some of his staff, and other people in the 4-county area have put together, I think, a good program as far as the inmate support program, which has to do with taking an individual and once they're in the detention center, try to do some work with them while they're there. So when they do leave, may it be medication, may it be jobs or other things that they need in their life to be successful, they'll walk out with them. And one of the reasons this has been really important, anyone who knows me knows that substance abuse has been the thing that I've hung my hat on, that and domestic violence, for many, many years. And I heard something the other day in one of these meetings that was pretty shocking to me. And New Mexico is the #1 in the nation, once again, for abuse of prescription drugs by our youth. Even more shocking, guess who's the #1 county? Grant County. That makes us #1 in the nation for this problem. We have some huge issues to deal with substance abuse. When I talk about that, I'm talking about drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, I'm talking about alcohol. So it is really taken a lot of work. In fact, last night on it till about 8 o'clock, I was working on this. Another area that I've been working on, and John and the chair and some other people in the Cliff Gila area we've been working on, is the recreational program and facilities. And I'm proud to report that whenever we first started this, the Cliff Gila people came to me and said, Ron, we would like to have XYZ. I said, well, you need to demonstrate that, in fact, this is what you do need and why. And they have. They've come together with a good group. They've gone out and they pulled weeds along with their commissioner and stuff and making things better out there. But I think we're really close to coming to putting some stuff together, and I won't go into that today. Also, through John and through Anthony Gutierrez, I've been working with the roads in Wind Canyon as far as designating some roads, some additional roads, and trying to clean up a mess that we had out there. And so that's going along. I'm really excited about a program that John and I and some other community members have been working on, and that's the bike program to improve the safe routes to schools and employees as far as health benefits. And what we're doing, and John's been a big part of this, is what we're doing, we're working on a program to where, through some procedures and stuff, allowing our employees to purchase a bike, and it's a program where they can get some good rates and pay it off, and then ride their bikes to work. And what that does, the more people who ride their bikes, then that lessens the school traffic as far as in school zones and such. And plus, it's a health issue. And so we're pretty excited about that. The other thing I've been involved in is of course, I really enjoy going to the EDA roundtable. This month we had a meeting, and one of the subjects was a regional broadband implementation program. And what it is filling in the voids that we have within our county. And John is making arrangements now, so I think it's going to be this next month, John?
Yes.
So they'll come and they'll make a presentation to the commission. So we get it on CATS so everyone can see that the work that's being done there. And I'm still interested in looking at or developing a program where our core communals can maybe develop or look into the possibility of a route out to the Cliff Gila area. Besides this, I don't know if they're still doing the pharmacy out there or not. Are they? Do you know?
At the Cliff Gila area? I don't think so.
Okay, they were at one time. But I'd like to have that developed. I can only say that I would think that would probably be a good thing for the members area too.
I know there's a route that goes out to each place,
Yeah.
but I think it's just once a day.
Yeah.
Because of usage. If it was used a little more, I think they can afford to go out
Let's see if we could develop that a little bit. I've talked to John, I've talked to Randy about it, but I'd like to see us, develop that a little bit more. I continue to attend the Gila San Francisco Water Commission meeting for updates, reference to the Arizona water settlement and the projects and where they are. In fact, they had a good discussion on your reservoir out there in the Baird area. And also the updates by the Interstate Stream Commission and by the commissioners of that particular organization. I probably, more than anything, received a lot of calls from people concerned about their neighborhoods. Their neighborhoods as far as these abandoned, I know this is a headache thing, these abandoned motor homes, trailers, motor homes or whatever. And every one of them I looked at, I drove out on Western Drive this last weekend checking out one. And it's a nice neighborhood. And someone has gone in there on two different pieces of property and parked mobile homes that are just, there's nothing there. The windows are busted out, curtains are blowing through the windows, and it's not only a health hazard for our children, they may go in there, it's a fire hazard, plus, depreciation of property. And so that's something that maybe Abby and I can get together and look at along with Gilbert and see what we can figure out as far as I know that one they're really concerned too about out on Cottage Sand Road, where this person has put one out there and said it's for his grandchildren. Well, there's no doors, there's no windows, and it's just broken down. So anyway, I'll leave that up to them. Of course, probably my most objective meetings have been at Walmart. And we all have those, right, Commissioners? Yes, sir. And it's amazing where people really don't have time or don't want to come in here or come into an office or call John. They see us at Walmart, and if you've been around at Walmart, everyone knows us. And my wife Jane says, "I'll meet you at the front door, right?" And she takes off. But we gain a lot of information.
Ace Hardware.
Ace Hardware is another one, yeah. And last but not least is, we just finishing up a month of domestic awareness. And that's something we always got to keep on the radar. That's something we've got to support. We're lucky to have a shelter here. We're lucky to have some very dedicated employees at that shelter. Donations help, and just the understanding of domestic violence is really important. So, sure, you understand why I just want to do this once.
Yeah,
all right?
Maybe I'll split it up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just thought of something as the Commissioner was talking. We had originally said we were going to have our meeting on the 14th of November. We're actually going to do it on the 21st of November.
I'll be out of town.
Maybe not. The 19th?
I have the joint.
Can we do the 19th?
I can.
Okay.
Yes.
I know
19th?
Commissioner Hall is available on the 19th, because that was a week you were available on the 19th.
Yeah, I have the joint NMAC Municipal League meeting on the 21st.
That's right, you sent me that.
So the 19th?
19th.
Yes, so it'll be the 19th instead of the 14th. We'll just do a meeting. We will not have a work session, it'll just be one meeting.
Okay. Yeah, because we normally just have one meeting in November anyway.
So we will make that change.
Okay.
So I just wanted to bring that up because it reminded me when Commissioner Hall brought up the presentation for broadband.
Probably the last thing, too, that I would have, I know you want to hear some more, but just...
I always give everybody seconds.
I really think it's important this time of year for our parents and drivers in the community to be watch for the little ones for Halloween. A lot of programs out there they can go to, but there's still those that take them around and they'll dart out. So be careful. Be vigilant.
My turn.
Is it?
Yes.
We ran out of time.
He's got 3 pages.
No, I just got a couple notes. Speaking to the audits that John was talking about, it took about 3 years to get into the position where they weren't done, and it took us about 3 years to get it back out, and we're back online, and I'm proud that's an accomplishment in itself right there. Thanks, John, for all the hard work with the Treasurer's Office and yourself and everybody in your finance department. It took everybody to get that back, and I'm happy to say we are back. Corey Camino's the same thing. It took about 3 years to get it in that rut, and it's going to take a couple more years to get her back to where it's absolutely fantastic, and it will be again, because I know Commissioner Ramos will stay on it along with Randy Villa. Probably one of the things that I'm most proud of the last couple of weeks is John and I partnering with the hospital and HMS to set up the outreach partnerships for citizens to apply for the Affordable Health Care Act. Those flyers have been out all over. At the convention center, it's 8 to 5, I believe. They're set up to help anybody that needs to get in and get to the Affordable Health Care Act. I'm not sure that the website's working completely all the way through, but I do understand you can save all your information and wait until they can give you rates.
Did you listen to those hearings yesterday?
No, I didn't. No. Once again, I just want to remind John that I too have asked for a couple of meetings, one with the Forest Industries Group and the Nature Conservancy are putting on a meeting together on watershed restoration. It includes thinning. I think I gave that to you in your box.
I'm glad we're making waves.
We are. Well, we got to get
together.
Yeah. So, and on the other one is the tire rendered fuel, which is basically using used tires for fuel to fire a kiln, making Portland Cement in Albuquerque that would use about 1 million tires a year, which is just ironically what New Mexico has, about what we go through in a year. So we wouldn't have tires and arroyos and stuff, and they would actually pay to come get them and cut them up and burn them in a kiln. It's already being done in Colorado, EPA approved. I think that maybe in the future I will ask for a resolution supporting their effort to get this through the local environment department. One other thing, when I was in Albuquerque last week at ACI, one of the presentations was on tourism, and one of the things that the tourism department is doing is they are advertising in the Phoenix airport in conjunction with Southwest Airlines. And I asked them, I said, well, Albuquerque and Silver City are the only two cities with direct flights from Phoenix. Can you move a little of that money over to work with Great Lakes? And they basically told me that we were small chicken and probably not going to get any money.
Right.
But that's something that maybe we can steer our tourism department towards, is an airport billboard with our Four Gentle Seasons and stuff, since we have direct flights from Phoenix. And I, for one, will help participate in some extra money for advertising like that. And I'm sure I can twist my other commissioners' arms for a little bit too.
Absolutely.
So,
All for it.
with that, if anybody else has anything to say, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.